Some of the things that council's doing, we are the regional city for the southwest, but we have not been functioning as a city, so we need to be able to bring the jobs into our city centre. So we've embarked on a program called Building Our New City, which is basically where we will be funding forward funding $17 million worth of construction to be able to, as I like to use the terminology, and I'm sorry for those who've heard it before, but go from a caterpillar to a butterfly, a transformation in a short period of time. Currently working with the Department of Planning on getting the controls right for our city centre. How do you create the right mix of having enough employment lands reserved in the city whilst creating a vibrant, active city that leads the way to local and international standards. So we're having those discussions at the moment, very positive, and that will roll out in the future. But our goal is we want to get people living in the city centre to create something.
I might start with industrial because nationally we're seeing enormous demand for industrial facilities from investors. So investment volumes are up. You can pretty much sell any industrial facility in this market. And from a tenant perspective, it's more challenging. Tenants are a little bit more fickle, but Southwest Sydney has a lot going for it. So a few things, the South Sydney industrial is now converting. So a lot of the industrial in South Sydney is converting to residential, and a lot of those tenants are seeing Southwest Sydney as a good option. Southwest Sydney has great port access, it has great road access, it's got really good access to staff. So I think a lot of the tenants that have moved from South Sydney to Southwest Sydney have found, they've got greater availability of people that can work in their facilities.
If you look at some of inner Sydney now, what was all commercial and manufacturing has been converted to residential. So I think the challenge for us is to build buildings that the market will build and want to use now that can be repurposed in the future. So there's no reason that a residential building in the CBD now can't be converted to a commercial building in 20 or 30 years' time if the demand is there.
Of creating layers of activity within its city. That's going to attract tenants and buyers, is to make sure you get enough scale and diversity so the developers will build it.
Working. So the perspective you're seeing coming out of council, which is about saying it's jobs for the regions, not just jobs for our city, and taking that mantra forward will make for a much more livable place, but actually a much more vibrant and prosperous place in the future as well.
New South Wales, we recognise that planning and development is going to be a key feature and a core business that this council is going to be investing in, and so over the next 10 years. So we want to make sure that our online services are meeting that demand, looking at electronic lodgement for development applications. And we've started piloting that for low-risk application types, which we're calling fast track.
My recommendation to each and every one of you is, and what we want to see as a council is essentially your ideas and what we can do to help you to make those ideas happen in that area. It's literally a blank canvas, so it's essentially what do we actually want to see on that canvas.